Hey, this is Mr. Barrios, and today we're going to be talking about biomolecules. So here, what do we need to know? So biomolecules are the building blocks of life. So you can either call them macromolecules or organic molecules. So they're the building blocks of life. So whenever you eat food, it usually has some biomolecules, either carbohydrates, lipids, or proteins. And so all the biomolecules contain the three elements carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. So there's four major groups of biomolecules. First, there's carbohydrates, which are sugars. Then there's lipids, which are usually fat. You have proteins, which provide structure. And you have nucleic acid, like DNA. So carbohydrate, lipids, and proteins, these you usually find in your foods. Nucleic acid, this is usually your DNA. And most of the biomolecules are made up of repeating parts called monomers. So monomers are one part. When they join together, they are called a polymer, which is many parts. Mono means one, poly means many. So all living things are composed of the five elements: carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, and phosphorus, or CHOMP. So carbohydrates have the elements CHO, carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. Carbohydrates are useful for that short-term energy. So a lot of fruits, a lot of sugars have that short-term energy to give you that quick boost. Lipids are for long-term energy. And even though they have the same elements, carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen, lipids give you a lot more energy because of their structure. And so this is usually found in fats. Proteins are used for structure. They have the elements carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, and nitrogen. And then nucleic acids store the genetic information. And they're the only ones that have the phosphorus or P group. So for example, DNA. Now let's look at each one more closely. So the first one is carbohydrate. So the monomer is called a monosaccharide. Mono means one, saccharide means sugar. The polymer is a polysaccharide. Poly means many, saccharide means sugar. So it usually has the ring structure with the elements carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. It is used for short-term energy and is found in things like glucose, bread, and sugar. Lipids, the monomer are called fatty acids. So fatty acids, the fat is part of the lipids. The polymer is just called lipid. So lipids have the same elements, CHO, as carbohydrates, but the structure is different. Lipids looks more like a jellyfish, carbohydrate looks more like a ring. So lipids, because they have those long chains, they provide long-term energy. And so they're found in the cell membrane, in fats, and oils. Proteins. So proteins, the monomer is called amino acid because it has an amino group with nitrogen and an acid group with carbon. The polymer is just called a protein or polypeptide. So here proteins, not only do they have carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen, they also have N, which stands for nitrogen. So proteins help provide structure. So we usually find them in muscle or in enzymes speeding up reactions. Nucleic acid, the monomers are called a nucleotide, with the phosphate, the sugar, and a nitrogenous base. the polymer is called nucleic acid. So the elements, not only does it have carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, and nitrogen, it also has phosphate. So the function is to store genetic information. So we see this in our DNA and also in our RNA. All right, here's your top 10. Good luck.